Hey everyone, Melly Mel here from Sincerely Creative Mom. Today we are going to make a beautiful fall bow using just a scissors, pipe cleaners, and ribbon. We have all wired ribbon today. We have a 4.5 inch, a 2.5 inch, and three 1.5 inch ribbons. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to start with a 4.5 inch. Let me just move this here closer to me so you can see. I'm going to use a 4.5 inch ribbon to start. Nice and wide, takes up a lot of room, big statement. And our first tail is going to be 18 inches long. So I'm just going to squish that right at 18 inches. And our first loop is going to be about 6 inches. So I'm going to pinch nice and tight and make a nice big loop, okay? I'm going to measure so that it's about 6 inches. Okay, that's about 6.5. Let's make it about 6. Okay, measure so that it's about 6 inches. And then I'm just going to pinch. You guys, you can put these on your lanterns, on your lights, on a wreath. Okay, 6-inch loop. Now, if I pull this down, I'm going to look at the ugly side of the ribbon. The beautiful side has all that pretty glitter. So what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of pull that apart and I'm going to twist that ribbon so that I can see the pretty part and make another loop. Now with my eyes, I'm just going to measure to make sure that these loops are about the same. I don't want one too long. And then I'm going to pinch again. Pinch, 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 pinch back there. And then I'm going to twist one more time so that that ribbon stays real pretty on the front side, okay? So I have super bad carpal tunnel hands, so I'm going to take a pipe cleaner and I'm going to wrap it around. Oops, sorry. I'm going to wrap it around nice and tight so that I can give my hands a rest. Anybody else like that? I love making bows, but darn it, they hurt me. Okay, and then I'm just going to pull my tails down, and then I'm going to cut the ribbon so that I know it's about the same length. Okay, so we have one 4.5 inch ribbon. Tails are 18 inches, and the loops are about 6 inches. Then we're going to come in with a plaid. Certainly the fall colors. I love that it's got a little bit of white to bring it in, to tie it in with the first ribbon. 18-inch tails, don't forget, and 6-inch loops on the first layer. So we're going to do 18 inches. We're going to cut them at the very end. So the first loops were 6 inches. This is going to be about 5.5. You guys, every time you make a bow, I just try to make my loops a little tiny bit smaller so that you can see all of the loops. So I'm going to pinch. Same thing, I'm going to twist so that I can see the pretty side. Now this ribbon is very similar on both sides, but just out of habit, and it is a little different on both sides where I have the stitching here. I'm going to measure with my eyes, pinch, twist. Now on this side, I'm going to have 2 loops on each side. Loop again, pinch, twist, my last loop here. I'm measuring it with my hands to make sure that they're about even. Pinch, twist, and we're going to have a long tail here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that ribbon off. I'm going to cut it generously, and then if it's too long in the end, we can totally cut it to make it even. Okay, so that pipe cleaner that I had holding here, I'm just going to take that pipe cleaner off and add this one to the top. Okay. I'm not letting go of either layer until I have it nice and pinched. I'm going to take that pipe cleaner, put it back on. Because if you have lanterns on your front porch or just your lights on your garage, these size bows would be perfect for them. So I'm just going to hold on to it. We'll fluff it all out at the end. You'll see how it goes. Okay, we'll fluff it all out at the end together. Okay, so that was my 2.5 inch. Now I'm going to take a real pretty, still has a little bit of glitter, a little bit of sunflowers. What's fall without sunflowers, right? Okay, 18-inch on the tail. Okay, now I'm going to do 1 loop. Okay, 1 loop. So our first loop was 6 inches. The 4.5 was 6 inches. Then we went a little bit about 5 3/4. This is going to be about 5 1/4. Okay, little smaller every time, 5 1/4, pinch, twist, loop. Okay, if you put up a fall tree, this could go at the top of your tree, pinch, twist. Now in this layer, I like to have a little bit of contrast, okay? So the 4 1/2 inch, we had 1 loop on each side. And the plaid, we had 2 loops on each side. The sunflowers, we're going to have 1 loop on each side. And when we fluff it all out, you'll see exactly why I did it that way. It's going to be so pretty, trust me. Okay, nice and tight here, just to hold it in between. Okay, now I'm going to come in with the exact same pattern. Colors. The plaid is actually that's the exact same. It is the exact same. So we're going to come in with that. And it's going to be 2 loops. Okay, so we're going to go still 18 inches. Now remember, we can cut these at the end. 18 inches. So we did 6 inches, about 5 3/4, about 5 1/4. Let's go 5 inches here. We're just going a little smaller every time, okay? Pinch, twist so I can see the pretty side, loop. I'm measuring with my eyes to make sure they're about the same. Pinch, twist. Now we're going to do 2 loops on each side. Again, you'll see when we fluff it out why I'm doing 2. Pinch, twist, loop. I'm just measuring, making sure those loops are the same. Pinch, twist, and I'm going to leave my tail long. I'm going to cut that off over here. We'll trim it in the very end. Pinch those centers nice and tight. You guys, I like to make sure that those centers stay nice and tight and stacked, one ribbon on top of the other. Okay, so I take that pipe cleaner off, put it right on top, the next layer, making sure that whole thing stays nice and tight. Put that pipe cleaner that's going to hold them all together right back on, and I just flip it over to help me out. Okay, nice and tight. Push. Okay. Now for the very top, I just like to do this thing where I put 1 little loop. Okay, 1 little loop. So I'm going to make, again, 18 inches. Okay, 18 inches on the tail. And this is going to be like 3 inches. Okay, real little. Real little. Okay, maybe 3 1/2. Okay, it's teeny tiny. And pinch. You guys, if you love these ribbons, they all came from my supplier. My link to get to my supplier, which is my affiliate link, to get to my supplier is CoachMelSupplies.com. Mel with an M like Mickey Mouse. CoachMelSupplies.com. Okay, one last time, I'm going to take that pipe cleaner off. Okay. Add this to the top. I'm going to come back in one more time, nice and tight. Flip that baby back over. Now, depending on where I would be putting this bow, I could make my pipe cleaner longer. And I could do that, I'll show you. I can do that by taking 2 pipe cleaners and marrying them together. So crisscross at the top. Let's move this out of the way so you can see. Crisscross at the top, and then I'm just going to wind it around. Okay. Twist it so that it stays together, and then twist those little ends along the edge of that pipe cleaner to kind of wind them in. And then boom, I have a longer pipe cleaner, easier to put around my lights, my lantern, my anything you got going on here. So I'm going to take this one off. Okay, hold on nice and tight, not going to let go of that pretty stack there. And take this long piece, put it right back under just where I had the other one. Nice and carefully so that you don't let go, so it doesn't make a mess. And then you got to start all over, okay? So nice and tight. Now, one last thing I'm going to do before we fluff it out is I'm just going to take all the ends. So I'm going to fold I'm going to cut on the fold up towards the edge. Okay, so it's a nice little, we call them a dovetail, nice dovetail on that end, okay? I'm going to do it even with the 4.5. Okay. Same for the other side. And that way when it's in, when it's all fluffed out, I won't miss any. I always miss some. And so if I do it this way, then I tend to not forget and miss any. Okay. So we have a 4.5 inch, a 2.5 inch, and 3 1.5 inch. Okay, now I'm going to hold nice and tight. Let's see, it's going to go, let's look like, it feels like it's going this way. It feels like all the tails are kind of coming this way. So I'm going to hold that center nice and tight. If I did my job right, I can tug on these ribbons and not have to worry about any of that, those layers coming out. So I'm going to start with my bottom layer, which is that 4.5 inch, really pretty pumpkin with the plaid behind it and all the glitter and the green. Gorgeous, gorgeous 4.5 inch ribbon. Okay. Then I'm going to come next. I'm going to look for that plaid, 2.5 inch plaid. I'm going to pull that down, layer after layer. My next layer was that sunflower. I'm going to go look for that. Pull that down nice and tight, making sure that that is coming down right from the center. Pull it down, okay? Then the black and white, that matching 1.5 inch to the 4.5 inch. I'm going to look for that and pull that down. And then last but not least, that solid orange right down the center. Now notice those two tails are both on one side, so we're going to pull those down. Both on that side, pulling them down. Okay. All right. There. Now we have all of our tails out, spread out. So I'm going to take those loops. Now I'm going to spread those out. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to zoom you in here so you can see. I'm going to leave that 4.5 inch straight. Okay. But I'm going to take that next layer, which is the plaid, and I'm going to fan those out a little bit. I'm going to spread those out so that you can see that 4.5 inch. I'm going to take the sunflower and put it right over the 4.5 inch. Take the two black and white with the pumpkin, spread those over the plaid, and that center loop, of course, is going to stay straight up. Okay? I'm going to turn it around the other side. Again, I'm going to leave that center loop right in the center. Take those plaids, pull those apart, leave the sunflower in the center, take those black and whites and crisscross those, and then fluff that center up right in the center. Okay? So you have like a big X. And there we go. Easy breezy. We have a fall lantern, a fall bow that you can hang on your lantern. You can hang on your lights, your garage lights, your front lights. I'm just making sure these are all the same length at the moment. All over. So pretty. Again, this is Melly Mel here from Sincerely Creative Mom. You guys, if you would thumbs up or heart this video, I can quickly and easily invite you to like the page so that you can follow all my bows and any other creative tips that I have going on. You guys, thanks for joining and have a great day.